Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. To those who have attended our previous webinars, welcome back, and I trust you are finding the information provided to be helpful. For newcomers, welcome, and thank you all for joining us for this webinar, which is run by the Leap Client Success Team. These webinars aim to improve the way small law firms implement the features of Leap. My name is Peter Swift, and I am a Client Success Manager here at Leap. In today's webinar, I am excited to show you the new and improved Family Law Financial Statements, featuring intuitive and easy-to-use data entry interfaces, which were made possible thanks to our recently updated Leap for Word automation technology. We'll see in a few moments how these new interfaces enhance the speed and efficiency of creating these complex forms. Today's educational webinar will run for approximately 20 minutes and will be conducted in listen-only mode. You will be able to listen only via computer audio. Phone audio is not available for this webinar. Feel free to type any questions into the Go to Webinar question feature throughout the duration of today's session. Any questions not answered during the webinar will be addressed directly with you via email. As a reminder, you can click on the blue question mark in the top right corner of any Leap window to go to the Leap community. If you have not yet visited the Leap community site, be sure to check it out. We have various articles to assist you with Leap's tools and features. If you require more advanced or additional training, please contact the consulting team directly via consultants@leap.us. We are here to help. In this session, we will provide an overview of the following: preparing your family law matter for creating a financial statement, and creating a financial statement using the new Leap for Word interface. The advanced financial statements that are currently available include the Massachusetts Financial Statement long form, New York Statement of Net Worth, and the Florida Family Law Financial Affidavit long form. Soon also to be released are the Advanced New Jersey Case Information Statement, also known as the CIS, Massachusetts Financial Statement short form, and the Florida Family Law Financial Affidavit short form. We'll be rolling out financial statements for other states into the future as well. These forms can be found in their respective folders in Forms and Templates, with the phrase Leap for Word added at the end of their form names to indicate that these forms are utilizing the new interface. The form we'll be demonstrating in our webinar today is the Massachusetts Financial Statement. But keep in mind that the new functionality shown in this form will be available in the other forms listed here. Before creating our financial statement, we first want to make sure that our matter is properly filled out with all the relevant party and case details needed for fully populating the form. Since in this case we're demonstrating with a Massachusetts contested divorce, we'll want to make sure we input the following details. First, our client. That would include our client's address, date of birth, and social security number. Our client's employer, which can be added to the matter via the Edit Table Types window. The other side. And lastly, the court, with its attached court details, including division and docket number. Now we're ready for the exciting part. Let's dive into how to prepare one of our new financial statements, the Massachusetts Financial Statement, using the new Leap for Word interface. Let's go to Forms and Templates. The Massachusetts Financial Statement is found in the Financial Forms folder. We're going to choose the one starting with the word New, indicating that this is the updated version of the form. Before opening it, however, keep in mind that if a red dot appears beside the form, it means that it has either received an official update or that a comment providing helpful information by the design and automation team about the form has been made. To view the comment, simply hover over the dot with your mouse like this. Let's open the form now. Now that we've loaded the form, we're given our first look at the Leap for Word interface on the right-hand side of the document. This is the interface we'll be using to quickly and easily populate the document with our client's financial details. You can click the border of the panel in order to resize it to a preferable width. You can also use your scroll wheel or the scroll bar on the right to navigate up or down the panel. Here we're beginning to see how this interface is an improvement over the previous Excel version of this form, in that you don't have to click through separate worksheets in order to input data and can seamlessly tab through each field by using the tab key, rather than needing to select the fields with your mouse or arrow keys. You'll also notice the headers with blue arrows that correspond to each section of the document. Once we have completed entering details in any given section, we can click that section's header to collapse its contents in order to tidy things up and help us better focus on the sections that haven't been completed yet. Let's click this collapsed header one more time so we can see its contents again. Now that we've gone over a brief overview of how the Leap for Word interface works, let's begin inputting details so we can get a better feel for all of its features and see how easy it makes preparing our financial statement. The top of Section 1 reminds us to input all the personal details for our client, which we did a few moments ago and already see automatically displayed at the top of the form. Remember that if while preparing a form you discover a detail missing that should have been added back in the matter, you can click the Bring to Front button to bring the form's matter to the foreground so that you can input those missing details. Once done, you can return to the form that you left open and click Update to cause it to pull in the details that you just added to the matter. Let's proceed and say that our client does have health insurance coverage by clicking the checkbox, and then tab down to the field where we can type in the name of the health insurance provider. Now that we've entered some details, let's click the Update Document button at the bottom to populate them into the form. We can now click the section header to hide those details since they've all been completed. In Section 2, we'll begin the process of entering our client's financial information. Let's say that they are salaried, and then move on to inputting their base pay. Note that the amount we need to enter is their gross weekly base pay, which is the number we might need to calculate ourselves if all our client gave us was their annual gross base pay. In this case, we can utilize the next feature of the Leap for Word interface, which is the built-in calculator, accessed by clicking the calculator icon besides each field. Let's type in this field to say that the client earned $85,000 annually, and then click the Weekly button at the top to get the weekly breakdown from that annual amount, which we see at the bottom is $1,634.61. We'll click the OK button to save that number to the field. Moving on, let's click the calculator for the overtime field to say that they received $6,000 in overtime pay over the course of the year, and get the weekly breakdown below. Let's click OK and move on to indicating that they received commission by clicking the checkbox and inputting that amount directly. Now let's move our way down to item Q, at the bottom of Section 2, where we have the ability to add additional other income line items by clicking this plus sign. We'll call this capital gains and use the calculator to find the weekly breakdown for $10,000 in capital gains that the client made last year. Down at the bottom, we could click Save and New to add a second line item if needed, but in this case, we'll just click Save. Here we see that custom capital gains entry listed. The ellipsis to the right lets us delete or modify this entry. At the bottom of Section 2 in item R, we see our total gross weekly income being automatically calculated from all the details we've entered thus far. Let's go ahead and click Update Document to populate those details into the form. Now that we've completed the section, let's click the header to collapse it so that there's less clutter on the screen and move on to Section 3. For the purpose of our demonstration, let's keep things simple and just plop in a few numbers to take care of our weekly deductions. If we scroll down, we'll see our total weekly deductions, our gross weekly income a second time, our weekly deductions a second time, and now our total net weekly income all automatically calculated for us from the details we've entered. Let's update the document once more and collapse headers 3 and 4 since we just completed those sections. In the interest of time, we're also going to skip over sections 5, 6, and 7 and move on to section 8 where we get to input our client's current assets. Let's go to item B, Motor Vehicles, and click the plus sign to begin adding the vehicles that belong to our client. Here we see our car's equity conveniently calculated for us based on our input. Let's click Save and New to input details on a second car. This time, let's click Save, followed by Update Document to see the car details neatly appear in the form. But what would happen if there were a third car that needed to be entered? Let's find out. We'll click Save, and then update our document. We don't see anything new appearing on this page, but if we scroll down the body of the document, we see a brand new Additional Assets page that was automatically generated for keeping track of our assets that couldn't fit on the main page. This ability to dynamically create additional pages with details applies wherever you can enter multiple items using the blue plus sign buttons. So if you ever need to list more items than what the default pages can fit, Leap will be able to accommodate for those situations. This is true for financial statements in other states as well, though depending on each state's formatting requirements, Leap might cause new rows of details to appear directly in the body of the main document rather than in additional pages as seen here. This feature also applies to the optional Schedule A and B sections of this Massachusetts financial statement. To demonstrate, let's scroll to Schedule B in the panel and pretend that our client had received $15,000 in annual rent. We'll click Update Document and scroll to the bottom of the document again to see a brand new Schedule B page that will be included with the main form. This capability is a significant improvement over the older Excel version that could not dynamically add or remove pages from the main statement. We now have a pretty good understanding of how to add details to our financial statement using the Leap for Word interface. Let's go ahead and click Save and Close to save the form to the Matter. Before we conclude our webinar, though, let's go over one trick that should be helpful when preparing your financial statement. We're going to drag and drop our newly prepared form into the Client Financials folder of our Matter, where we also find our client's W-2 and 1099 forms. Since the Massachusetts financial statement requires us to include these two documents, it will be convenient for us to combine them with the statement as a single PDF document. To do this, we'll hold down the Control key while clicking a single time on each document until all three are highlighted. Next, we'll right-click any of the three documents and choose Create Combined PDF. In this window, we can rearrange the order that the documents will be combined in by clicking the desired document in the list and clicking either the up or down arrow. We're going to make sure that the financial statement stays at the top of the list so that it will be the first document to appear in the PDF. Next, we can leave the Secure option checked so that no one can make future edits to the document, or unchecked so that recipients of the PDF will be able to make edits. Let's wrap things up by giving a suitable name to the document and clicking Create PDF. Remember also that even if after creating your combined PDF, you realize that you need to revisit one of the original documents to make edits, you'll be able to update the existing PDF with the information from that updated document by right-clicking the combined PDF and selecting Update PDF. We have come to the end of our topics for this session. With practice, you should be able to prepare your family law matter for creating a financial statement and create a financial statement using the new Leap for Word interface. We are thrilled that we could share our newly developed financial statements and Leap for Word add-in with you today. As with any new technology, there is always room for improvement, which is why we are eager to hear from you your ideas on how we can enhance the capabilities of these tools even further as time goes on. To send us your feedback, you can do so by clicking the large Provide Feedback button found at the top of any Microsoft Word document opened from Leap, including any of the financial statements just discussed in this webinar. Before we wrap things up, let's go ahead and address some questions related to the topics we just discussed. The first one asks, are you stopping support for the existing Excel versions of the Family Law financial statements? And our answer is no. These versions will continue to be available in Leap alongside the updated versions of the financial statements that we just looked at. Another question asks, what was the reason for developing the Leap for Word add-in in the first place? The reason why is twofold. One is because we want to create a tool that enables more powerful and intuitive automation in complex forms. And the second reason is in order to future-proof those forms that previously existed in the Excel format, like our financial statements, since Microsoft doesn't currently support automation in online versions of Excel and is not guaranteed to continue supporting the automation capabilities of Excel that Leap previously relied on. Leap for Word should give users confidence that the latest in automation technology is being leveraged to ensure compatibility with Microsoft's products. Another question asks, I accidentally closed the Leap for Word add-in panel. How do I get it back? To get it back is easy. You're going to first want to click the Add-ins tab at the top of the Microsoft Word window, followed by clicking the Leap for Word button that will appear. The next question asks, for what other states are you intending to produce Leap for Word forms? Our answer is that we are working on releasing financial statements and other complex forms using Leap for Word in several states right now, and we won't stop until all 50 states, including DC, are done. Next question. What if I need to add footnotes to my financial statement? Our answer is that we are currently working on building functionality that allows you to add footnotes. We want to thank everyone who gave us their feedback in regards to this particular feature request. And for our last question, we have an exciting one. It asks, can I send financial statements to my own clients for them to complete? And our answer is not yet, but this is also functionality that is currently in the works. Our objective is for your clients to be able to fill in their own financial details directly through the Law Connect portal, which would automatically produce a populated form back in the client's matter. To conclude the webinar, please make sure that you regularly review the What's New section in the Leap community and keep an eye out for invitations to our next webinar, which will be held the last Thursday of every month. Please make sure to register. For content or knowledge-based help, you should try to find the answer through our knowledge articles or turn to the live chat option in the Leap community at community.leap.us. If you are experiencing a technical issue with Leap that is not related to the use of the software or understanding of its features, the fastest way to get assistance is to contact our help desk through the community using live chat. That's all for today. Thank you for joining me. We look forward to seeing you at our next webinar.